Okay, friends, let's talk about it. The upcoming new moon on Thursday, November 20th at 1:37 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please adjust for wherever you are in the world. Will be happening at 15 degrees of Libra. And if you're like, wait, what the heck? Everybody's saying it's Scorpio. This is because we're actually using the visible sky here, folks. Tropical astrology has nothing to do with the stars. It is a seasonal social construct. Should be called seasonology because it only measures the lower cycles of the earth, the movement from light to dark, which is important, but we get that in the house system here using true sidereal astrology. Sidereal translating to of the stars. True, meaning that we're actually looking at the sizes of the constellations, so the zodiac are uneven. And we include our friend Ophiuchus, the 13th sign. This lens of astrology is unequivocally the most accurate out of everything that I have studied as an autistic polymath with a special interest in metaphysics. So here we go. Let's look at it. I'm so stoked to have this new astrology software from Mastering the Zodiac, True Sky. I'm not affiliated, but I hope to be if they come up with an affiliate program, because this is a freaking game changer. Okay, folks. So looking at the lunation, I love this too, because now I can see the actual degree numbers without having to just count the little lines on the free generator. And the fact that this lunation, so whenever we have a new moon, the beginning of a lunar cycle, the dark moon, the moon is not as magnetic at this point. This is the beginning of that cycle where the moon is the least potent, but the moon and the sun are always at the same point. They're conjunct, okay? And this one in particular, we also have Mercury, a Mercury Cazimi, in retrograde at the same time. And the fact that it's at 15 degrees, so the numerology of 15 is in the archetype of the devil in the major arcana. So that energy of like temptation, and even the fact, when that boils down, so 1 + 5 is 6, which is the lovers. And if you know the archetypal imagery of the tarot, the devil and the lovers are the same card in different polarity, okay? And it's the joining of the masculine and the feminine together. That's what this energy is all about. And releasing yourself from temptations and, sins of the flesh kind of idea that keep you encased in the old paradigm, the lower 3 dimensions, stuck under the illusion of separation, operating under the othering of everything. Whereas the reality of our experience is that everything is you pushed out, and the forgetting is helpful so that you can have experiences. But ultimately, we are in a process of returning to the knowing of the truth that ultimately everything emanates from within you. So therefore, there's nothing to fight against or other. Okay, so the fact that this lunation is happening at this degree point in Libra, which is all about the other, the self in Aries, the other in Libra, relationships, justice, balance, all of these themes, it's not being lost on me. Okay, so super interesting. And then we also have a lot of aspects going on. So let's get into it. Okay, so this triple conjunction here of the sun, the moon, and Mercury retrograde. Also, Lilith, Black Moon Lilith, is pretty darn close at 13 degrees. Another curious number, especially for the divine feminine. Okay, 13 is a feminine number. And no wonder it's been villainized in our society, right? Because we have been inverted away from the knowing that the matriarchy or the feminine is really the ruler of our realm. So Lilith is the point. It's the apogee of the moon, basically. So it's not a physical thing, but it's a point, kind of like the nodes, where the moon is the furthest away from the earth, and it represents the repressed feminine rage. Okay, so the fact that that is 2 degrees away from this lunation is also something to speak of. So this triple conjunction plus Lilith is bringing emotional, mental, and identity reboots to the collective. Reflection, rethinking how you're communicating, especially in the context of relationships, truth-telling, shadows coming to the surface, honesty in relationships, no more biting your tongue. You got to say the thing, okay? No more swallowing your truth. Spit that shit up, okay? Where have you been too polite? Where have you been biting your tongue? These sorts of things are going to come to light with this lunar cycle in particular. So the new moon is the beginning, but we're going to see this play out over the next 28.5, 29 days, okay? So we've got this purification of the heart mind channel, integration of head and heart. Okay. That's just the lunation. Now it is opposing Uranus in Taurus at 8 degrees. 8 is the strength card, softness through surrender. Okay. Power through softness really is what the 8 is, the strength card in the tarot. So this opposition, we've got this push pull between Uranus, which is all about freedom, innovation, also sudden changes, shocks in Taurus, the physical world, your resources, your finances, also your self-worth. So this opposition is forming a kite with support. So we've got this tension, the push-pull between these two opposing forces, and then we're getting support via sextiles and trines involving Jupiter in Gemini and this cluster of activity here in Pisces. We've got Saturn and Neptune in Ceres, the Great Mother. So the builder, the dissolver, and the Great Mother are all in retrograde in Pisces, providing support via sextiles and trines to this opposition between the lunation and Uranus in Taurus. So this formation is giving radical awakening through relational reflection, sudden clarity or disruption that catalyzes growth, potential for some crazy shit to happen in your personal life and also on the world stage as Uranus shakes off codependency and brings us liberation through our own self-worth. Jupiter and Gemini and the Saturn and Neptune series cluster over here in Pisces, forming a supportive base, bringing stability through adaptability, flexibility with that Gemini energy, the expansion of a new paradigm, being able to hold more than one opinion at once, different opinions not being a freaking threat to you because who cares? It's all part of the simulation. Okay. And then all of this energy in Pisces, the deep collective waters of humanity, the most spiritual, deep, intangible energy there is in the zodiac. I mean, with the exclusion of Ophiuchus, because that's a whole other thing. But Pisces is a pretty deep feminine energy as well. So this is bringing that stability through the adaptability, through your faith, through your emotional maturity and connection to what lies beyond the physical, your faith in the knowing that you are the curator of your reality and you have the ability to create something brand new for yourself as long as you can remain powerful in the knowing that everything is emanating from within you. Okay, so we've got that aspect pattern going on. Meanwhile, we also have Venus also holding it down here in Libra, bringing an extra energy of relational dynamics, setting the tone of harmony and elegance, bringing a call to recalibrate your standards inside and out, embodying grace, bringing magnetism to the collective. Honestly, like a new cycle in love, art, and values kind of vibes to the whole thing. Okay, and then we've also got another kite. So we've got kite number 1 facing this way. We've got kite number 2 going here with the opposition of Jupiter in Gemini, the expansion of a new paradigm, and Pluto in Capricorn, the dismantling of the old paradigm. Okay, and they're both getting support from the freaking lunation here on one side. And again, this cluster of activity going on in Pisces with Saturn, Neptune, and Ceres. So this aspect pattern is bringing energy of power versus perspective, expansion through depth, new systems emerging, supported by the lunation and the Pisces planets, brings evolution through diplomacy, justice, compassion, and integration of polarities. The other is not the enemy, okay? It's not a threat to have people think something different than you. In fact, you actually need that in order for you to be able to exist. For every person that is awake, we need somebody who's asleep. We can't fight against these things. We have to accept this, accept the polarity and the totality of our experience. And from this place of acceptance, your body calms down. You're able to achieve neutrality. And from there, you can create whatever the frick you want. Okay. So we've got these two kites going on. And then honorable mention as well, a little bit of tension here before I get into the biggest aspect pattern. So we have the nodes always opposing each other because that's how it works. But they're also making a square, both making a square to Mars in Scorpio. So Mars is one of the rulers of Scorpio, Mars and Pluto. So this drive to go deep, the emotional warrior, okay? So this energy, squaring the node, this is bringing a theme of karmic crossroads, okay? Pressure to act differently, breaking old loops, your passion must serve your purpose, emotional honesty over control, embodied courage, transforming your anger into agency, your power, okay? It's not, your anger is not there just to create more conflict. That energy can be alchemized into drive to assert yourself as the curator of your reality, okay? And then finally, we've got this complicated castle pattern going on here, with the tip of it being all of this energy in Pisces, okay? So we've got a mystic rectangle of sextiles and trines connecting the lunation in Libra, Jupiter in Gemini, Uranus in Taurus, as well as Pluto in Capricorn, bringing in harmonious architecture of transformation, supporting the base of the castle. So then, and there's oppositions here, right? The tension here, but then harmonious aspects with the rectangle. And then there's a grand trine with Jupiter in Gemini, the lunation, and Libra, and then all of this energy here in Pisces. Okay, so that trine is creating the castle formation, which is a containment field for the integration, turning that chaos into coherence, air, earth, and water alchemy, intellect, embodiment, intuition, all working together, divine design, the new system of harmony, replacing the outdated old constructs of control, externalized authority, the hustle and the grind, the patriarchy. All those things are slowly dissolving and crumbling before our eyes as we see the dismantling of the old paradigm. So overall, this lunation, I'm pretty stoked for these energies, honestly. It's easier for me this time of year. Usually the spring, my chart's all over here, right? So this time of year feels a bit more liberating for me. If you're somebody who's got a lot of placements in Libra and Scorpio, let me know how you're feeling in the comments of this video, or better yet, come on over to Soultivation, our brand new heart-centered conscious community where I host a weekly segment on Mondays. And also, I am doing a free new moon circle on Thursday, the evening of this lunation, just as the very beginning waxing crescent starts of this lunar cycle. We are going to talk about the energies, set some intentions, do a somatic movement ritual, and a little meditation together. There is no cost to join this. This is the last one that I'm going to be doing as a freebie. After that, I'm going to be creating a little bit of income for myself by instituting a small fee. So come on over for the last new moon free circle on Soultivation on Thursday. You can check out the link in the bio or in the comments of this video on how to join. But let me know how you're feeling, okay? Like, I'm feeling pretty stoked. I feel like this is a pretty encouraging set of aspect patterns, as long as you're doing the work to calm your body down and turn your attention inwards. Like, if you're not doing that shit, there's going to be a huge segment of the population that is losing their freaking shit right now, because like all of this relational stuff is going to cause turbulence, okay? There's a lot of conflicting energies all pointing at your relationships. And if you're not aware of the fact that that shit is coming from inside of you, like the call's coming from inside the house, you're going to be all over the place as far as defensiveness or, aggression. You're going to be operating in the drama triangle as either the rescuer, the victim, or the persecutor, right? All of that is reflective of somebody who's operating under the illusion of separation or the external locus of control. So don't be that person, right? I mean, be that person if you want. It's all an experience, but I can tell you that those experiences are going to lead you towards more contraction, okay? Because everything that's happening outside of you is you in another body. Any sort of turbulence you're having, any disagreements, any criticism that you're facing, any difficulties that are coming from outside of you right now, it's actually an illusion. It's all from inside, okay? And all of these sorts of aspect patterns and circumstances are happening in order for you to become aware of this. That is the process that we're going through here as a collective, on an individual and a group scale, okay? So remember that when shit hits the fan, it's probably already happening, right? It has been happening for some time. Relational dynamics have been a theme in the aspects for a number of weeks at this point, right? So if you're having difficulties with others, it's because the fragmented aspects of your soul internally are creating those circumstances in order for you to realize that you are fragmented so that you can bring that shit back together, become whole internally, and then slowly but surely your external environment will change. Although I will say with Uranus and Taurus, there's a chance for it to happen faster than typical. So overall, this lunation is asking you to become conscious about your communication, be aware of your relational sovereignty and your emotional refinement, release the performative peacekeeper, embody authentic balance, integrate your opposites, appreciate the opposites, and realign your heart, mind, connection from chaos to coherence. As with every lunation, I would say grounding yourself would be helpful if you're feeling any sort of way about this. Take care of your body, get yourself into a body of water, touch the earth if you're able to. If you're somewhere like me where winter has crept in, take a freaking salt bath. That's the best you can do. Get a vitamin D lamp. Whatever you can do to ground yourself to those elements and remain in your body instead of outside of it. So let me know how you're feeling and how these energies are hitting you. I'd love to see you in my new moon circle on Thursday. And if you're still listening to this transmission, thanks for supporting me with your ears and eyes and hearts, and I will see you in the next one.